After installation of the reporting plugin, you will notice some additions to your Tridion menus and shortcuts. On the Welcome dashboard, there is a new reporting button. In the shortcuts on the left hand side, you will now see a reporting section with links to the reporting objects. You will also see a reporting tab with drop-down buttons for the different reporting objects. Here we have reports that specifies the layout of the reports. Report definitions, where we specify which data columns to include in the report. Query definitions, which specify how the different data sources are joined together to get meaningful information. Data sources, where the data for the reports come from. Plus, we can set fine-grained roles and permissions for reports. Now let's have a look at some actual reports. Here we see some ready-built reports. Some are time-based with relative dates, some are linked with external data, for example Google Analytics. Let's look at all the items published in the last 24 hours. You can change the inputs, for example how many days back. You can change the automated scheduling when the report should run. You can also change the permissions for the report. You can select a different template to show a 2-column instead of a 1-column report, if you need to include a chart. But let's stick to a single column. I will first run the report so we can have a look at the report data. We have title, publish date, also a clickable URI, which will open the item in the Tridion Explorer. Let's go back to the list of reports in Explorer. So we close the report and the report tab. We are now going to do an export of Google Analytics report. Let's first run to see the data we get. This is typical Google Analytics data, joined with some Tridion data. We will now export this data. The different export formats are CSV, HTML and XML. I am selecting CSV so we can further manipulate the data using Excel. I click on Export and an Excel spreadsheet is created that we can open. Here's the same data as we had in the report. Let's just move column D to the end. I insert a new line at the top to add column headings. This one we label countries and the next one visits. Using these two columns, we insert a pivot chart. We include both the countries and visits columns in the pivot chart. We will use visits for aggregation, but let's change the field settings to show sum of visits instead of count. We don't want to include the not sets and the blank values. We can change the chart type to pie or anything else. Let's make it a bit bigger. And that concludes the quick demonstration of how to export and manipulate data with the new Amakozi reports for Tridion.